Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our MISAT Bulletin. And we shall start with our headlines. Qatar's Emir warns against military action in Gulf dispute. Somalia police and night's long siege of hotel left 23 dead. And moving on to our details, starting with the Middle East, Qatar's Emir has warned against any military confrontation over the ongoing diplomatic dispute between his country and 4 other Arab nations, saying it would only plunge the region into chaos. Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani said US President Donald Trump has offered to host a meeting between Qatar and its opponents, Bahrain, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, to end the crisis between them. Speaking to the American television network CBS 60 Minutes news program, Sheikh Tamim said so far, however, there has been no response from the boycotting nations. This comes as the 4 countries boycotting Qatar allege the nation funds extremists. On to the Mideast crisis. Under pressure from the United States, Israel has delayed a bill that would connect a number of West Bank settlements to Jerusalem. Israel's Haaretz newspaper quoted Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as saying Israel needs to coordinate the bill with the US. Earlier Sunday, David Bitton, the Likud party's parliamentary, told Army Radio the vote was delayed because there is American pressure claiming this is annexation. It's worth mentioning that the bill aims to solidify the city's Jewish majority but stops short of formal annexation, making the practical implications unclear. The bill also says the communities would be considered daughter municipalities of Jerusalem. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia on Sunday accused Iran of blocking peace efforts in Yemen, slamming it over support for the Yemeni rebels Riyadh is fighting against. Saudi Foreign Minister Adel Al-Jubayr accused Tehran of smuggling arms to Yemen's Shiite Houthi rebels and to the rebels' ally former President Ali Abdullah Saleh. Jubayr said Iran is destroying all attempts to find a solution in Yemen, which has led to the failure of all political negotiations between the government and these militias. Al-Jubayr comments came during a gathering in the Saudi capital of foreign ministers and military officials from countries including Egypt, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Senegal. And going to Somalia, Somali security forces have ended a night-long siege at a Mogadishu hotel by 5 extremist attackers who stormed the building after a suicide car bomber detonated an explosives-laden vehicle at the entrance gate on Saturday afternoon. Police officials announced that troops regained control of the Nasa Hablod Hotel on Sunday morning, having killed 3 attackers and captured 2 alive. The assault that left 23 people killed started on Saturday afternoon when a suicide truck bomb exploded outside the popular hotel in the capital. The attackers invaded the hotel and gunfire continued. 2 more blasts were heard, one when an attacker detonated a suicide vest. On the other side of the world, crowds began gathering in central Barcelona on Sunday morning ahead of what was expected to be a major demonstration in favor of Spain's unity. Organizers said the march's goal is to defend Spain's unity and reject an unprecedented attack in the history of democracy. On the other hand, Catalonia's ousted leader has called for Catalans to engage in peaceful opposition. It's worth mentioning that the vote by pro-independence lawmakers on Friday in favor of independence and Madrid's response triggering unprecedented constitutional powers taking control of Catalan affairs was the climax of Spain's worst political crisis in decades. Meanwhile, the European Parliament's president says no one will ever recognize Catalonia as an independent country. Antonio Tajani says Catalonia's independence referendum was illegal and state of law should be restored. He also spoke against EU mediation, saying the crisis is an internal Spanish issue. In addition, he said Spain's decision to call a new election in Catalonia after the region's unilateral declaration of independence was the right thing to do. Moreover, Tajani said Europe hopes that dialogue can help resolve the difficult situation, adding this does not mean that European Union could mediate because it is a Spanish internal issue. And finally, at least 2 people have died as high winds knocked down trees, left homes without electricity, and caused widespread travel chaos across much of Central Europe. Czech public television reported that 2 people were killed on Sunday when they were hit by falling trees, while in Berlin, a man was severely injured by roof tiles falling from a building. Storm Herbert, whose wind gusts reached 180 kilometers per hour, caused blackouts in hundreds of thousands of homes in the Czech Republic. Meanwhile, train connections in several German northern states were shut down, including links to and from Berlin. And before ending our news, let's take another look at the most important headlines for today. Qatar's Emir warns against military action in Gulf dispute. Somalia police end night-long siege of hotel, left 23 dead. And this was all what we have for today. Thank you for joining us and see you tomorrow in a new bulletin.